my first question, how your filmmaking journey started and what inspired you to become a filmmaker?
When I started, um, my interest in about filmmaking start in when I was a kid, in the 90s. I have uh, I had VHS machine in my house when I was a kid. So in that moment, I live in the south of Chile. So uh, we 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 don't have that time internet or something like that. So I rent movies in a store and start to generate some connection with films in this solitude in this town. So in that way, all start. So um, that's it. Like when I was a kid, seeing films in VHS, and then always I wanted to study art and filmmaking. So on cinema. So I study in major university in Chile, Universidad Mayor in Spanish, and my school film, my title of the career, the final project was my first feature film. It's called Root, and I start there. So with proofs, mistakes, and then start to learn again, because this is important for me. I see in a different way the things that I learn in the school, the film school, and then the things that I learned making films. You know what I mean? So for me, it's a kind of different, and I always say, like, it's like I studied two times, because I learned film making film more than the thing that I learned in the university, for me, in my case. So Root, my first feature film, was a kind of school for me, and then I never stopped until now.
So, as you said, started as a graduation project, but it went on to gain international recognition. So, looking back, how did the transition from student work to a festival selected film impact your confidence as a filmmaker?
I don't know. It's tricky, because the 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 topic of the film festival, because when you, I don't know, when I finished Root, in that time, uh, I didn't know nothing about a film festival. So I I close the doors of my house, and I make the edition of the Root. And Root was a film that we shoot in 8 days, with $8,000, and with 8 people, something like that. So I was the writer, the director, producer, with two more friends, and then I made the editing. And then I remember what we'll do now with this film, and I sent this to San Sebastian Film Festival. And in that time, I didn't even know that uh, what A-class film festivals means, you know. So I sent the copy DVD, and then I received a letter from the director and inviting the film. And then in San Sebastian, I start the tour, film festival tour, and I realized that the film festival are very important, not just for showing your film, also for the connections, for the possibilities to make another film. So also I realized that uh, if you get in that kind of film festival, your career maybe will going forward. So um, that is the thing I think about the film festival. It's like a tool, you know. You can show the films, you can make not just friends, also connection, work connection, and that is important because you know cinema is a collective work. But about your question specifically in the confidence, uh, I don't think so much in film festival when I'm writing or directing or even in the editing. It's something that I think after. I think the confidence for me is have a good project, and if I are getting involved in that project, for me provokes a lot of confidence. I don't know, you know what I mean? But the film festival is true. They help you to show your work, and maybe that also is a kind of confidence.
Excellent. So, a place called Dignity is based on the real life events of Colonia Dignidad. So, what was
Mhm.
the biggest challenge in adapting such a sensitive topic?
Uh, was a huge challenge because Colonia Dignidad is a um, very dark chapter here in Chile. Was a sect that the time that the was like 40 years. So darkest chapter in the history, Chilean history. So when you start to close in that kind of topic, that kind of topic here in Chile, always create an atmosphere of what the people ask you why you interested in that topic, and for me it's the memory. The memory is a thing that I try to work in all the films, and in Root was the point of view of the memory in family, the scars, intimate scars, and then a place called Dignity was the memory about Colonia Dignidad, and this topic in the in a social way, and also intimate and also geographic about the memory point of view. And then I made a Winter Hole, that is a fiction and documentary, um, two stories that travel in parallel, and and also about the memory. And in my last work, Sunset Over America, that will premiere now in Berlinale, um, is is a documentary about how the things are start to getting again darker here in Latin America about the migration problem. So it's when something that you in the future will remember like a tough chapter star. You know what I mean? Like that, like the memory in the moment.
So you have collaborated with co-production team on several films. So how do you navigate the challenges working across different cultures?
For us here in Chile, and I think in Latin America and also in a lot of country, you need the co-production, because here in Chile we have a fund from the state, the culture ministry, and if you win with your project, you get money, but it's not enough to make a film, you know. So you need sometimes co-producers. So I personally, I really interested in co-production, sorry, with Latin American countries. We made a co-production with Argentina, and two films with Colombia, with Brazil. So because I don't know, I think they are close to Chile. We are the same region, but also I've been working with France, with Spain, with Germany, because you know they have this fund for international films in Europe. But it's difficult get that funds, many years. I don't know, a place called Dignity, we was like 7 years to get all the funds. You know, it's a co-production between six countries, something like that, 5 or 6. It's difficult. You have to, you know, put your hat in all the people, and pitch your project. Latin American cinema is like that. You can make films with less money, as Root, for example, but other films you need the money, so you have to apply to this kind of fund. But for us in Chile now, is like a natural things to make co-production for get more money.
So now let's talk about your latest film, Sunset Over America. As you said, it will
Uh-huh.
be shown in Berlin. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
So your film explores the complexities of migration, as you said, and you deal with memory. So what inspired you to tell this story of Sunset Over America?
Here in Chile, um, a feeling of uh, uh, this word, it's tough, but it's true. Uh, sort of feeling of hate in the social, you know, atmosphere about the migration from another countries in Latin America, like Venezuela, because they are in a crisis. So a lot of people from Venezuela come to Chile, to Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico and USA. So that crisis start to, you know, grow up, and then a lot of people in Chile start to say, no more people from Venezuela. You know what I mean? So is that I think that the history, not the story, the history in our planet is like you know, like a circle. So we start to see things that we know that happened in the past. So I think in Latin America, the migration crisis is very tough now. A lot of people die in this kind of trouble. So I start to make a research about the topic, the subject, because parentheses. Now I am writing the my new feature film. It's a fiction film based in a novel, so it's completely different. Uh, 100% fiction, but Sunset Over America is a documentary because the topic and the story stuck in my head. So I start to research and I talk with my producers, Francois Nieto Fong from Colombia and Tomás Kerlak from Chile. They are co-producer for my work. So they told me, okay, let's do it. We want to make with you this short film. So we traveled to the um, I don't remember the word in English. It's a high land in the north, very high. So uh, when is the frontier of the border? Sorry, and between Bolivia and Chile. So then there, I get this story about. I discovered this story about Barbara. She's a teenager that crossed this very tough part of the desert in the middle of the night, and she tell the story, but from their point of view, and I just make scenes of the places in the day because the people that come to Chile make this travel in the night. So all the day they wait, and when the sunset start, they start to walk to the desert. So for me, was a yeah maybe a poetic things in that way, the sunset over America, because I think in now it's this topic is like a sunset over America. You know what I mean?
So, what were the like biggest challenges while making Sunset over America?
The biggest challenge and in Sunset Over America. It's difficult to shoot in the border because it's a military place. Also, the cold, is desert, and in the day very sunny, and the night cold, and also the high you cannot breathe. It's difficult. I don't remember the word in English when you cannot breathe in the high lands. And yeah, yes. Um, and also tell in a directional way is was a challenge to tell this story without make the characters uh, put the characters in a way of victims, because that is not interesting for me. I like the human condition, the human being. So that was very difficult to found the point of view.
So, how big was the crew and how much time it took to complete the film?
The crew was one, two, three, four, five, six person, six people, six. Were a crew of six person, and then what? Sorry.
How much time it took to like complete the film?
Okay. How many days? Was one, two, three, 4 days, six person, with red digital camera. It's old model, the Epic Red, and we use zoom lens, um, all vintage old lens from the 60s, and we use that.
So, it's going to be shown in Berlin. So, what are your expectations from the festival?
Berlin, I think, is a great film festival. I've been there in 2014 in the project selection for the co-production part, co-production market, sorry, with a place called Dignity in like 10 years ago. So that was my first time in the Berlinale, and I think it's amazing. Great films, the people, the city. It's cold because it's winter, but it's a great place to go and see films and talking about films. It's a really good film festival, not just for the story of the film festival or the class. I don't know. Um, and my expectation, we really want to show this film because I think we think that it is important to show this kind of story from Latin America to the people around the world. So Berlinale is the opportunity to show this short film because we know that the short film has not the same position or like a feature film. It's more difficult to show them. So the distribution. So Berlinale is a key place because we want to show this to a lot more people possible. So the expectation is get conversation, get links about this other stories in the planet in similar topic. We want to start a conversation. That is the expectation.
So, are there any like your favorite films and filmmakers that have influenced a lot?
For I start the answer with a little intro. Uh, I may I really want I really like to make films, in fiction films, documentary films, short film, feature film. I really like the mixing between things, So in that way, my reference for start, I don't know, for me it's very important the work of Lars von Trier. For example, is very important for me because when I was start the filmmaking, the films from Lars von Trier may make like a hole in my brain, So I always remember that the films are a language in self, and I think he's a great filmmaker. Also, I really like Agnès Varda, French uh, filmmaker. I love her. I really like her films because when you see a Agnès Varda film, I feel that like I am in family. It's something very very special. Also, I really like the work of Michael Haneke, the director, Austrian director. I really like his work, and also in Latin America, I really like the work from Carlos Raigadas from Mexico. Uh, and I love cinema. I always been seeing films, and and also I really like a Chilean director. He made documentaries. Ignacio Agüero. He is really good, and also Raúl Ruiz, great Chilean filmmaker that passed away like years ago, and his work. He worked a lot in France, but he mixed the humor and the drama and the structure. I don't know. It's very Raul Ruiz. Um, and I have a lot of reference. I love filmmaking. I love cinema from all the countries. You know, I really like to see films from all the countries.
Okay, okay, brilliant. So my last question is like there are a lot of aspiring filmmakers. So what advice would you give to them? How to make films? How to become a filmmaker for a young filmmaker?
I think that something important for me, and maybe this can help, I don't know, someone in one, but for me was make this first feature film without money, without help, big help, you know, just try to make honest film. Uh, so I really trust that when you write and when you make a film and you feel that film is honest and you really want to do that film, uh, the best thing that you can do is make that film with the tools you have close to you. So I think the best film school is making films, and for me was that the thing when how I learned film. So that vice is make a film, maybe a short film, maybe a feature film, but um, work, see a lot of films, see going to go to galleries to see art, to see theater, to see read. I always remember this kind of interview that in I don't know who made the interview to Ben Herzog, the German filmmaker, and he say in his style, read. If you don't read, you never be a filmmaker. And I love that because it's true. You if you read poetry, fiction, I don't know, journalism. If you read, and also you go into arts galleries, to theater, to cinema, and also you try to make a film, a short film, a feature film. You start the machine. You know what I mean? So I think I don't know if that is an advice, but is the thing that I can say.